Hi, Datuk Seri. Thank you for giving us this interview. May we start with the first question?
Yes, please.
There's a public perception that the new government is quite inexperienced, that they are still talking like they are opposition people. How do you see your role?
They are experienced people. Dr. Mahathir is the most experienced Prime Minister you have in this country or in the region. And we have a former Deputy Prime Minister, Muhyiddin, and I think they would be able to influence the direction of the cabinet. And Azmin, Guan Eng were both Menteri Besar and Chief Minister. So I think they do have some experience either running a state or the federal authorities. Now there have been concerns, of course, and I share with you on that because some of the statements made prior to briefing, discussions, or even approval by the cabinet. And I think this has been trashed out by the leadership, particularly the Prime Minister. Incidentally, I mentioned to Dr. Mahathir myself on this issue that most policy issues, changes must be first referred to and approved by the cabinet.
Dr. Mahathir is now very popular. The talk now is that he's saving Malaysia as we speak. So do you feel that there's a sense of cruel irony that the man who jailed you is the one that is saving Malaysia? I mean, have you forgiven him?
If I have not forgiven him, I wouldn't have endorsed Pakatan Harapan. He has said that it was a mistake, he shouldn't have sacked Anwar. And he said, well, Anwar should be the next Prime Minister. I mean, it's enough for me, you know. Tun Mahathir had major responsibility to dismantle some of the corrupt institutions, to dismiss corrupt officials, to regain public confidence. Not that I think I'm not able to do that, but I wouldn't be too happy having to do that. I mean, if you're forced to, of course you do it. So I think it's okay. Give him the support which is needed.
There is talk that Anwar Ibrahim of 20 years ago will be a very different Anwar Ibrahim we have in front of us today. You would have been an UMNO Prime Minister and not a PKR Prime Minister, and someone who would be seen to be more conservative with regards to views on Islam and Malay supremacy. What are your thoughts on that?
People mature. No one should, I mean, you should grow wiser, not miser. And I mean, to me, I don't need to be apologetic about it. You learn, you experience, you taste difficulty, you're in prison, you come out. Only when you experience incarceration would you tend to appreciate more the value of freedom. You mean to say, in last 20 years, I don't realize that freedom was important? I do. But now I will realize that any injustice to any individual, because I've seen people in prison. Why are you here for 6 months? I stole a pair of jeans. I said, well, you steal billions, you're still a Tun or a Tan Sri. It doesn't make, to me, mockery of the system. So we ridicule the system. So we think there's something wrong in the institutions of justice, which includes the enforcement agencies and the judiciary. So I have stronger views. Had I assumed office, say 99, I wouldn't have that sort of understanding of the excesses, abuse that we have seen. But if you talk about, for example, oh, I was more conservative, I mean slightly, but there are certain issues which I would defer, but they say, well, there was a brand of conservative Islam. I don't. Even my days in ABIM, we always talk about pluralistic Malaysia, multiracial society. We never articulate in promoting the idea of exclusivity in terms of religion. We never promoted the idea of Islamic State. Even when I was ABIM president, make no apologies for the fact that I am a firm believer in the need to enhance the level of proficiency of the Bahasa Malaysia as an official language. Now, does it mean that it is a zero-sum game? Because I promote Malay, I am therefore not supportive of the enhancement of the English language. No, to the contrary, I've been quite strong in my views. In all my speeches, I said, I would never been taken as a professor at Georgetown University or now invited to Stanford University and Harvard if I don't have a level, an acceptable level of proficiency of the English language?
So you have been accused at times of being pluralistic and at other times too conservative.
Yeah, that's the problem. I have that to deal with it, you know. You go to the rural of the people, it's not like before, you know, he's too pluralistic, he wants to appease the Chinese, he choose to quote Confucius, he doesn't quote the Quran anymore. It is true, but is this chameleon? No. You go to the village of Quran because they understand you. What is important is the substance. Do you compromise on the substance? You don't. Kita welcome the spirit of the free media is for a reason, dialogue and exchange. This is pertinent to our society. And we are not the so-called liberals who refuse to apply, Islamic tenets, that we do. We represent the Islamic conscience, but we do not represent this outmoded, ultra-conservative Islam that wants to compel others to accept their particular interpretation of you. And this is very important. I hope, I don't know, the media, even you, really look again that kenyataan yang Azizah sign mengenai RUU 355. Because, not because I helped craft that, but I thought this is the dialogue that we want to have, to show that we are we represent the Islamic sentiment. This is our position. These are the known scholars and authorities, their view on hudud, and then this is the practical reality faced by our neighbor, majority Muslim country, and how they had to deal with it. But overall, Indonesians have accepted that. 90% Muslims accept to drop the 7 words. Because the fear of the non-Muslims is that whatever you say, once you implement that, they are going to be affected. Although you give all sorts of guarantees. Because knowing the system, knowing the manner some of these people articulate their views, they are. So the fear is real.
Yakin dulu pentadbir Tun M juga yang buat dengan Tun Sri juga lah.
Yeah.
Apa sebenarnya yang terjadi pada Jakim lepas selama ini sehingga dia perlu digombak?
No, Tun Mahathir tidak kata batalkan. Dia kata kita kena kaji semula dan rombak. Dan tak dapat nafikan kerana semua orang-orang kanan Jakim itu semua terlibat dalam kempen parti yang berlebihan. Okey, dia gunakan kedudukan Islam dia itu untuk itu. Belanjawan dana itu besar, mencecah 1 bilion ringgit. Tapi sekarang ni orang bagi kan halal pun sampai kayu nak halalkan, baju pun nak. Jadi ada keterlaluan. Jadi bagi saya tak ada salah untuk kita kaji balik. Dan jangan berikan mereka tu seolah kegairahan. Dia saja, penafsiran dia saja betul dan dia akan laksanakan dan dengan kadang kasar. Because there are two divides, some are very liberal, some are very conservative. So we have to, and then now in Malaysia it's more complex because we have Malays, we have Chinese, we have Dayaks. We have to deal with it. That's why I think there is no place for this ideological fanaticism. One of the reasons why I think some past leaders very upset with me because our position on 355. Because we articulate differently. You see, they were not able to counter these arguments. Any legislation, although we say it's purely affecting the Muslims, will inevitably affect the position of non-Muslims. And therefore, they have every right to participate and question.